kind of a special feeling when you're out on the sea alone, staring at the full moon like a lover. Time for a cool change. I know that it's time for a cool change.
Cool change. That's Little River Band. It's Dan RadioStyle. Oh, this has been a fun one trying to record. I've had all sorts of experiences with this one. Seriously, probably my 9th attempt. This show needs to come out. Thought transmissions. So I'm gonna make this short and sweet, and then we'll see how this goes. Because there's a core part of this that I definitely want to get out, and then all the other crap that I was saying that I shouldn't. We won't do this time. We'll try it different. Thought transmissions. So what I want people to understand, and Goddard calls them transmissions, so I love that. And there's 100% agreement with the concept of transmissions, but I like to call them thought bridge, or thought bridges, because I think it's a little more than just the transmission, and it can be anyways. It's certainly the transmission for sure, or for shizzle, but it's also a bridge, because what you're doing when you think of your person, when you think of anybody, doesn't matter if it's your person, doesn't matter who it is, you create an instant connection to them. It's kind of like the tin cans with the string tied to the ends, right? And you could talk to you, and they on the other side, and somehow you could talk to each other through the string. It's the same thing. You've got this connection between you and them. How do you turn that on, do you ask? What's the light switch? The light switch is thinking of them. That's it. There's no, there's nothing. There's no fancy schmancies that you got to do. You think of them. Done. Instant connection. Higher self. Yeah, what's up? Instant. Yeah, what's up? Instant. No question about it. That fast. The second you think of them, boom, done. Now, here's the important part, and here's the part of this show that needs to go out, needs to be free. It needs to fly. It's going to. What we think, say, and do, and especially feel at the time that we create this thought bridge, that we're thinking of them. Everything we're thinking, saying, and doing, and feeling at that very second is being transmitted, Goddard style. It's like you just got a big dish that's just, spewing out this message. Actually, it's probably more of a directed antenna, but whatever. Let's not get technical. You're sending out this message. Everything you're thinking, saying, and doing. And when you really disconnect it, is when you start thinking of something else. That's when it's like the line's cut. You cut that string between the two cans. But the second you're thinking of them, and you continue to think of them, and you continue to have some sort of maybe discussion in your mind about them, about how they have wronged you possibly, how they've done things wrong, how they haven't text messaged you back, how they haven't anything, how they didn't do something, how they weren't a good enough X or Y or Z, how they weren't responsive enough, how they weren't sensitive enough, how they weren't emotional enough. If you're having those thoughts, that's the transmission you're sending. You're sending ill thoughts. And I don't know about you, but I don't know if you've ever hung out with someone that has negative thoughts frequently, but they're hard to be around. They kind of suck the energy out of you. They're tiring. And I know you don't mean it, and it's not an issue of what you mean. It's not the issue of it. It's how you're feeling at that second, what you're thinking, saying, and talking about, basically, in your mind. What's your mind chatter? And how are you feeling about it? And regardless of why it's happening, you're thinking of them because you're having this thought within yourself about them. And so because of that, you've got this connection. You've created a bridge. Their higher self is like, all right, I got you. You're upset with me. And so the lower self frequently will feel aspects of that and be like, every time I think of her, it's just, like you don't have a good vibe. You're not putting off a good energy. That's what their experience is. Every time you think of them. Every time. There's no not. Ever. Their higher selves are like I've talked about before, it's like six density, six dimension, both of those technically. And I will do a show one day. It's such a rad show, but it would be pretty deep. There'd be a lot of crazy. And I'd have to go through third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Anyway, getting off topic. This is where anywho. But again, the higher self doesn't care. It doesn't matter. The lower self will, depending on how evolved it is, it will certainly feel things. And the more evolved it is, it tends to feel more. That's just generally how it is. But it will experience these negative vibes, this negative energy. It feels them. They are instant. You're thinking it right this second, having this conversation in your mind right now, then right now they are experiencing some possible ill feeling towards you. But if we think of them in fond ways, kind of why I'd like the I love you too thing, but when we think of them in fond ways, when they pop into our minds, we're like, I just really wanted to say I love you. Like, just talk to their higher self. I just wanted to say I love you. I know it's harder for us to do it right now, maybe, in text or maybe over the phone or anything cool or in person even. But I just want to say I love you. I enjoy you more than life itself. I just wanted to tell you that. It feels real good to say that. I love you. And, I appreciate you. And we'll get stuff figured out. I know it's working out. I know it's happening. So thanks. And so you can have these conversations with their higher self, which is groovy. Now, you're saying a message. You're transmitting a message. And that's awesome. And at that time, you were feeling love. So the person that you're connected to instantly, because you're thinking of them, instantly thinking of them, is now receiving this message. Higher self again is like, cool. All right. I love that too. Thanks. You're not mad at us tonight now. That's groovy. We like that. We prefer that. And then the lower self's like, hey, she's pretty rad. I haven't talked to her in a while. I kind of miss her, like, I don't know. She's pretty cool. Like, that's the experience, right? They're having a more of a good experience when they think of you, when you pop into their heads. Like, all of a sudden, like, your name pops into his head or your face pops into his head or however it plays out in his world. And then that feeling is what follows. So that's really how that transmission is received in most cases. The more evolved you are, you'll receive a better message. But kind of the lesser evolved, typically that's how it pops in. So essentially, you're going to pop in as like your face, your like you. He's going to think of you. You're going to and then he's going to feel something. And if you're sending love, that's the feeling he's going to feel. And if you're sending ugh, then, hey, believe it or not, is what he's going to feel. That's how it works. It's good and bad. I get how there's going to be times where people will be like, dude, that sucks, man, because like I just want to be able to have like these little mini debates in my mind and have it not matter. And I keep saying it matters what you think, what you say, what you do. And it matters how you feel. And if I have not done anything in my life on this planet as I progress, and as I hopefully teach a couple things to a couple people, I hope it's that controlling and learning to develop and project our consciousness, projecting our thoughts, our words, our deeds in the direction that we'd like to experience, trying to be kinder more often. Just the whole idea of what we send out is profoundly received back. And if we can work on what we're sending out, then we do so much better for what we get back. So whatever it is that you're wanting more of in your life, then you just think more of that and you get more of that. And it's just really cool. And when you finally get that down, you're like, okay, I totally get this now. Like, you still have your moments where I'm having negative thoughts. Ugh. That happens. But you get it. And I need to stop this because this is not good. This is what I'm sending out is not groovy. I need to make it something better. All right, let me think the opposite. Let me think something positive. So the important thing to realize with the thought transmission, with the thought bridge, is that string between those two cans is created instantly. So what do you want to do with it? What do you want your message to be? What would you like to connect with them for? Do you have questions? Ask questions. Is there something you want to say because you miss them? Then say it. Because it feels good when you know their higher self hears you for sure. And you will actually notice when you do the positive, loving thing, especially out loud. If you can get away with it, where like maybe you live alone like me, I can totally get away with it. Have the conversation out loud. Oh my God, it's so great because then you get to hear yourself saying it too. Oh, it's so real at that point. And you feel it because you're feeling it already and you're thinking about them. And that vibration becomes amazing. And that, again, is received. How they receive it, I don't know. You don't know. I'm sure you don't know. I guarantee you don't know. So don't worry about how it's received. Understand that it's from the lowest levels up to the highest levels. It's generally received. Now, if there's so much negativity, then you could be blocked just mentally. There's people I don't think about. There's people I don't, like, if they pop into my head, I'm like, seriously? No. And it's like I push it away. Like, I don't want to think about you. You're not even invited. You're not allowed in my thoughts. And, there's just certain people, I don't care. I've moved on, doing something different. So that can change. Yes, you can work on that. But again, different scenarios. I don't want to get off track because I don't want to ruin. This one's coming out really, really good. So again, the important thing to remember, the important thing to take away from this is when we think of people, we are creating instant connections. What we are thinking, saying, doing, and feeling at that moment is received instantly. The level that they understand it as the level it is, but it is happening. And the better that we send, the better that we project, the better the conversations are with them. The more loving, more profound, more what we'd like to experience, the better the receiving end of that is. And the more of that kind of stuff that happens, it creates stronger bridges. That string becomes fiber optics, if you will. Maybe it becomes a whole strand of fiber optic. Like, it becomes stronger because you're creating this enhanced energy. And it will create what it's meant to create, but you'll probably get some reaction. You'll probably notice something happening from it. That will be kind of you seeing this play out in action and how you will see it's like, yeah, there's a little something to this. But the other side of it is you're going to feel it inside. It's pretty powerful. It's pretty awesome. When you're doing these things consciously and realizing what you're actually doing and the power that you have, and you're not in taking away their free will, mind you. You're having a conversation with them, and the fact that there's a distance between you doesn't matter. That's the important part. That's what's cool about all this. So you can just have the conversations with them. You don't even need a text message. You can have the conversations with them. It's pretty awesome. So hopefully that's the takeaway from this. Going out with a song that, like all these songs were like from the past. Like that first one I played, Cool Change. Man, when I at first I'm like, huh? And then I got it further into it. I'm like, oh man, this brings back, like, I was very young when I remember hearing that song. And then this one's like for anyone that loves 80s movies. Certainly if you're even close to my age or older, I guarantee you've seen this movie. But most people that are like into any sort of good 80s movies, like at all, if you're like, I like 80s movies, then yeah, you've had to have seen Dirty Dancing, hopefully. Anyway, here's Eric Carmen